trust in your prayers. Good evening, everyone. Today I want to talk about something deeply personal, something that requires us to be vulnerable, open, and willing to confront both our fears and our hopes, trusting in our prayers. This is not just about religious faith or rituals. It's about believing in the power of our inner voice, the deep desire for connection with something greater than ourselves. Whether we call it God, the universe, or simply our own intuition, the act of prayer is about surrendering to that higher power and trusting in what comes next. We live in a world where control is often emphasized. We're taught to strategize, to plan, to ensure that everything we want is achievable through our efforts. But sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is let go. Trusting in our prayers is about letting go of the need to control every outcome. It's about embracing the unknown, knowing that even when we don't have all the answers, we're still on the right path. Trusting in our prayers means embracing vulnerability, the willingness to put our deepest fears, wishes, and regrets into words and offer them up to the world. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create space for healing and transformation. It's when we trust that our prayers matter that they begin to shape us, often in ways we never imagined. So today, let's remind ourselves that trusting in our prayers doesn't mean waiting for perfect answers or results. It means showing up, being open, and allowing the process of surrender to unfold. Trusting in the unknown is one of the most profound and difficult challenges we face in life. It requires us to let go of our need for certainty, to surrender control, and to embrace the idea that life unfolds in ways we cannot predict. We live in a society that prizes control and predictability. From the moment we are born, we are taught to plan, to organize, and to anticipate what comes next. We measure our success by our ability to control outcomes, to create a roadmap that leads us to where we want to go. Yet, despite our best efforts to predict and control, life often has other plans. The unexpected happens sometimes in the form of joy, but often in the form of challenges, pain, and loss. And it is in these moments of the unknown that our ability to trust is truly tested. Trusting in the unknown isn't about being passive or inactive, rather, it's about being open and receptive to the unfolding of life. It is about accepting that we do not have all the answers, but we are willing to walk through life with an open heart and mind, allowing ourselves to be guided by something beyond our comprehension. Trusting the unknown is about understanding that we are not always in control. And that's okay. Our lives are shaped by forces much larger than ourselves, whether it's the energy of the universe, divine intervention, or simply the natural ebb and flow of events. When we try to control every aspect of our lives, we often find ourselves overwhelmed, anxious, and disconnected. We become so focused on the destination that we miss the richness of the journey itself. But when we trust in the unknown, we are reminded that the process, the journey, holds just as much significance as the end goal. It's in those moments of uncertainty that we often discover our true strength, resilience, and capacity for growth. There is a certain beauty in the unknown, though it can be terrifying. It is in the unknown that we are called to grow, to face our deepest fears and desires. When we step into the unknown, we are forced to confront the limits of our control and our understanding, which opens up space for transformation. The unknown asks us to become comfortable with discomfort, to trust that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. It's about having the faith that even when we don't see the whole picture, there is a purpose to the unfolding of events. Trusting in the unknown does not mean abandoning caution or wisdom. It doesn't mean being reckless or ignoring the need for planning. Rather, it's about surrendering the belief that we can control every outcome and being willing to let go of the need for certainty. It's about accepting that uncertainty is an inevitable part of life and choosing to meet it with courage and grace rather than fear and resistance. When we learn to trust the unknown, we allow ourselves to embrace the mystery of life. We stop fighting against what we cannot control, and we start to see the potential and possibility that exists in every moment. Trusting in the unknown opens us up to new experiences, new perspectives, and a deeper sense of connection to the world around us. It invites us to live with a sense of wonder and awe, knowing that the answers we seek may come in ways we never expected. Vulnerability is one of the most powerful and often misunderstood aspects of the human experience. We tend to think of vulnerability as a weakness, a place where we might get hurt or exposed. In reality, it is through vulnerability that we open ourselves up to the deepest forms of connection, healing, and growth. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we are choosing to step into the unknown, to face uncertainty without the protective armor of control. Vulnerability asks us to let go of our defenses and show up in the world as our true, authentic selves. In a world that often values strength, resilience, and self-sufficiency, vulnerability can feel like a daunting prospect. We are conditioned to hide our struggles, to mask our fears, and to project an image of perfection. The pressure to appear strong, competent, and unshakable leads many of us to build walls around our emotions, our thoughts, and our dreams. We put on masks to protect ourselves from judgment, rejection, or failure. But the irony is that by doing so, we often prevent ourselves from experiencing the very things that make us feel truly alive: connection, empathy, and love. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create space for authenticity. We no longer have to pretend or perform. We can simply be. Vulnerability opens the door to deeper, more meaningful relationships because it allows us to connect with others on a real and honest level. When we share our struggles, our fears, our imperfections, we invite others to do the same. This creates a sense of mutual understanding and compassion, a recognition that we are all human, and at our core, we all share similar experiences of fear, doubt, and hope. Being vulnerable doesn't mean exposing every aspect of ourselves to everyone we meet, but it does require us to be honest about who we are and what we are feeling. It means admitting when we don't have all the answers, when we need help, or when we are afraid. Vulnerability is not about oversharing or dumping our emotions onto others. It is about creating space for honest conversations and allowing ourselves to be seen without the need for approval or perfection. In relationships, vulnerability is the key to building trust. Trust is not built on perfection. It's built on the willingness to show up as we are, flaws and all. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we give others permission to do the same. This reciprocal exchange of vulnerability creates a bond that is unshakable, a connection that transcends superficialities. It is through vulnerability that we allow others to truly know us, and it is through their vulnerability that we come to know them as well. Vulnerability is also a crucial component of personal growth. It is only when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable that we can truly begin to confront our fears and limitations. Vulnerability invites us to embrace discomfort, to step outside our comfort zones, and to challenge the beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve us. It's through this willingness to be vulnerable that we grow, adapt, and evolve into the people we are meant to become. Though it may feel risky, vulnerability is the pathway to resilience. It teaches us that we do not have to be perfect to be worthy of love, connection, or success. In fact, it is through embracing our imperfections that we find the courage to keep going, to keep learning, and to keep moving forward in life. Vulnerability may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is through embracing it that we truly unlock our potential and the power to live authentically and fully. In a world that increasingly values instant gratification, it's easy to get caught up in the belief that success, answers, and results should come quickly. Whether it's through social media, fast food, or quick fixes, we're constantly surrounded by messages that promise immediate satisfaction. However, when it comes to trusting in our prayers, our personal growth, or the meaningful changes we seek in our lives, this expectation for rapid results often does more harm than good. It's not about immediate results, rather, it's about the journey, the patience, and the trust that the process will unfold as it needs to. When we focus on the need for quick outcomes, we often miss the lessons and experiences that are integral to our growth. Life doesn't always give us what we want right when we want it, but it does provide us with what we need when the time is right. This delay or seeming lack of immediate results doesn't mean that things aren't working or that our efforts are in vain. In fact, it often means that something deeper is at work, something that requires time, reflection, and an openness to the unfolding process. Trusting in our prayers or in any form of deep intention means understanding that the answers may not always come quickly or in the way we expect. Sometimes the prayers we offer up lead us to places of discomfort, uncertainty, or struggle, and we may question if they are being heard at all. Yet, it's in these moments that growth happens. We develop resilience, patience, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In the absence of immediate answers, we are forced to explore, to reflect, and to discover new perspectives. This process of growth can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it's often the slow, gradual changes that have the most profound impact. When we look back on our lives, we rarely remember the quick wins or the immediate results. Instead, we remember the moments when we struggled, when we persisted, and when we trusted despite the lack of visible progress. It's in those moments of waiting, of uncertainty, that our character is forged and our understanding of our own strength deepens. In a society obsessed with speed, we can often forget that some of the most important things in life take time. Relationships, personal development, and even spiritual growth don't happen overnight. We don't wake up one day and suddenly become the person we aspire to be. It's the small, consistent efforts, the steady accumulation of experiences, and the ongoing practice of trust that shape us. When we focus too much on the end result, we overlook the beauty and significance of the journey. Waiting for results also requires us to practice patience, a virtue that is often undervalued. Patience isn't about sitting idly by and doing nothing. It's about maintaining faith and continuing to take deliberate action, even when the outcome isn't immediately visible. It's about trusting that every step, no matter how small, is leading us towards something greater. The process of becoming is as important as the destination, and the growth that occurs during the waiting period is often where the true transformation takes place. Learning to trust in the process and to let go of the need for immediate results is an act of surrender. It means acknowledging that there are forces at play beyond our control and that timing is often out of our hands. It's about trusting that even in the silence, even in the waiting, things are moving, changing, and growing, even if we cannot see it yet. And when the results do come, they are often richer, deeper, and more meaningful because they've been shaped by time, patience, and a willingness to trust in something bigger than ourselves. Prayers shape us in ways that go beyond the words we speak or the desires we express. Prayer, at its core, is not simply about asking for something or making a request for divine intervention. It is a deep and intimate conversation with our higher self, with a power greater than ourselves, or with the universe itself. When we pray, we open our hearts, minds, and souls to something beyond the immediate, beyond the material world. In doing so, we are not just seeking answers or outcomes, we are engaging in a process that gradually transforms us from the inside out. Prayer, then, is not about changing the world to fit our desires, it is about allowing the world and our place within it to shape and refine us. One of the most powerful aspects of prayer is its ability to connect us with our innermost thoughts and feelings. In the act of prayer, we are often forced to confront our vulnerabilities, our fears, and our hopes. When we pray, we are engaging in a process of self-reflection, where we take a step back and ask ourselves what we truly need, what we deeply desire, and what we fear. These moments of honesty with ourselves can be uncomfortable, but they are crucial for our growth. As we face our inner truths, prayer offers us the opportunity to reshape our understanding of ourselves. It allows us to release limiting beliefs, embrace our imperfections, and ask for guidance in navigating our challenges. Moreover, prayer helps us develop a greater sense of clarity and purpose. When we pray with intention, we begin to align our thoughts, actions, and emotions with our deeper values and beliefs. It acts as a compass, guiding us towards what truly matters and away from distractions that may lead us off course. In this way, prayer shapes our decisions and behaviors, helping us move toward a more purposeful and authentic life. Over time, we begin to see how our prayers are reflected in our actions as we make choices that are more in line with our higher self. Prayer also cultivates gratitude, which in turn shapes our perspective on life. Through prayer, we express thanks for the blessings we have, and this active acknowledgement allows us to shift our focus from what is lacking in our lives to what is already abundant. Gratitude helps us to develop a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, reminding us that even in difficult times, there is always something to be thankful for. As we regularly engage in prayer, our hearts grow more open to the blessings around us, and we become more attuned to the small miracles that occur every day. This shift in focus allows us to move through life with a sense of peace and contentment, no matter the circumstances. Another way in which prayer shapes us is by fostering a deep sense of surrender. We cannot control everything in life, and sometimes prayer is an act of releasing the need for control and trusting in the process. Through prayer, we learn to let go of our expectations and attachments to outcomes. This surrender does not mean giving up, rather, it means recognizing that we are part of something larger than ourselves and that the universe or a higher power has its own plan. When we trust in this larger plan, we find peace in the uncertainty, and our relationship with the unknown becomes one of acceptance rather than fear. Lastly, prayer shapes us by helping us cultivate a deeper sense of connection. Whether we are praying alone or with others, prayer connects us to a greater community, both on a spiritual level and within the shared human experience. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and that there are others who too are seeking answers, peace, and understanding. This sense of connectedness nurtures compassion, empathy, and love, reinforcing the idea that we are all part of a larger interconnected whole. Through prayer, we recognize that our own healing is intertwined with the healing of others, and that by growing spiritually, we contribute to the collective well-being of the world. Ultimately, prayer is a transformative practice that shapes us, not just in the ways we speak to the divine, but in the ways we think, act, and feel. It molds us into the people we are meant to become, aligning us with our highest potential and helping us navigate the complexities of life with grace, purpose, and clarity. Faith in the process is about trusting the journey, even when the destination remains unclear. It requires us to embrace the idea that the steps we take, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, are leading us somewhere meaningful. In a world where immediate results and instant gratification are often valued above all else, having faith in the process means choosing to surrender to something larger than our immediate desires, trusting that each moment has value and that our path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. The process is often not linear. Life doesn't always follow the neat, predictable course we might hope for. We may face setbacks, obstacles, and detours along the way. And at times, we may even question whether we're on the right path at all. This is where faith comes in, faith that the ups and downs, the failures and successes are all part of the greater plan. It's about understanding that growth rarely happens in a straight line. Often, it's the moments of struggle that teach us the most, helping us to develop the resilience and patience needed to navigate life's challenges. When we have faith in the process, we begin to trust that the timing of events is beyond our control. We learn to stop rushing toward outcomes, to stop pushing against the natural rhythm of life, and instead we allow ourselves to be present in the moment. The tendency to want everything now can make us impatient, causing us to doubt the value of the journey we are on. But when we step back and trust the process, we realize that each stage has something valuable to offer, even if we can't see it right away. Having faith in the process also means releasing the need to know all the answers up front. When we're walking through life with blind faith in the process, we're letting go of our need to control or predict the outcome. We're choosing to embrace uncertainty and trust that, no matter how unclear things may seem at the moment, we are exactly where we are meant to be. It's the willingness to take each step without knowing where it will lead, to move forward in spite of fear or doubt. In this way, faith in the process is not about certainty, but about the courage to continue moving, knowing that every step brings us closer to what we are meant to experience. This trust in the process is also crucial in our personal growth and transformation. It asks us to be patient with ourselves as we evolve. We don't become who we are meant to be overnight. Personal growth is a lifelong journey, and at times it can feel frustrating, especially when progress seems slow or imperceptible. But when we have faith in the process, we recognize that every experience, every challenge, and every success is a building block that shapes us. Even when we can't see the immediate benefits of a particular experience, we trust that in time it will reveal its significance. Faith in the process also extends to the way we approach relationships, career goals, and personal aspirations. It's easy to feel discouraged when things don't happen as quickly or as perfectly as we envision, but it is during these times that faith is most important. Trusting the process means believing that everything unfolds in its own time, and that we are being shaped by the experiences we go through, whether it's a relationship that didn't work out, a career change, or an opportunity that didn't pan out as expected. With faith, we can look back and see how all of these moments have guided us to where we are, helping us grow, learn, and ultimately lead us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. When we hold faith in the process, we acknowledge that things don't always happen on our timeline, but they are happening exactly when they need to. It's about relinquishing the idea that we can rush life or force outcomes, and instead allowing ourselves to flow with the natural rhythm of existence. Life is a process, not a destination, and it's in the journey that we find the most profound experiences. By having faith in the process, we give ourselves permission to trust, to grow, and to believe that everything, even the difficult moments, is contributing to our greater purpose. In the end, faith in the process is not just about waiting for something to happen. It's about embracing the unfolding of life with patience, courage, and trust. It's about recognizing that every step, every setback, and every moment of uncertainty is shaping us in ways we may not immediately understand. When we let go of the need for control, when we trust that life is unfolding as it should, we begin to experience a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. So let us move forward with faith in the process, knowing that we are not alone on this journey and that every part of it is leading us toward becoming the person we are meant to be. Trust the journey, embrace the process, and let it shape you into the fullest version of yourself. Thank you.